Okay, so a brief video here about saving your files. There are a couple of different, or actually three different ways to save your files in ZBrush, and you want to make sure you get the right one or you will lose some information, okay? So I've got this little guy here. This is one of their demo projects. It's very cute. Like this, okay? And what I want to do, if I want to keep this thing as is with the color and all the settings on my screen and everything like that intact, you go up to this menu called File, which makes sense because that's usually how we save things in any other program. It's in the File menu. Okay, so kind of think of that. That should be your touchstone there. Couple things about this. So you can save it here, and it puts a particular extension on it, ZPR. That stands for Z Project. Okay, this is demo water dragon, like so. Okay, so remember that it should say ZPR at the end. I'll just replace this. That's fine. Like so. Okay. However, when you save like this, you have the option of saving the undo history or not. Okay. It's okay to do this if you're really unsure on where you are with this, and you might want to go backwards with it. That's okay. However, pay attention to it because your files can get absolutely horrendously huge with this on, because it saves everything, for eternity since the beginning of when you started the project. So I recently opened a student project from last spring, and it was taking forever to open, and I watched the little thing spinning up here and going, what's going on? And it finally said restoring undo history, and it was a nearly a 4 gigabyte file, which that's a huge file for any kind of program. That's like full screen 90-minute video stuff, that kind of thing. It shouldn't be a simple ZBrush project. So be careful. If you don't pay attention to that, you're going to end up with giant files that take forever to load. So you just toggle that off, okay? And then it won't save the undo history. A better way to go is just to save versions of your file every time you like it, okay? That way you kind of have your own built-in undo. You can always kind of revert back if you completely screw it up. There's also a quick save function up here, okay? And this actually saves it separately from when you save it. So if I just click on that, and it's just going to save it, okay? And that's going to show up then in the light box here under quick save, okay? And you can see there they are. So it saves that about every 9 minutes anyway, or 10 minutes, and the shortcut key for that is the 9 key, okay? So that's a real great way too, because when and if ZBrush crashes, it lets you then revert back even if you haven't saved. ZBrush is saved for you, okay? But you won't see it anywhere unless you go into that menu and find it, okay? So that's the way to save this guy with color and everything else on it, okay, all this stuff. Another way is to just save it as a tool, like this, okay? So if I save this as a tool, Water Dragons ETL, save, replace, like so, and then I load that, I can then have this guy as a separate little beast here, okay, to get out of edit mode here. Always switch, okay. So that allows me to transport this from one file to another, okay, like so, okay, but it doesn't save all the project data with it, all right. So remember a little tip of getting rid of these, you hit the T key, hit Control N, that makes everything go away, like so, all right. So that's another way to go. So if you're saving stuff that you're going to use in the future and you don't need to worry about the project, you can just save your geometry and then import it later. Right up here, load tool from project or load tool, okay? So you can do that either way. So that brings me to the last thing, which is the way you don't want to save is in the document menu, okay? What this does is this saves what's called the pixel information, the 2.5D, that's kind of a ZBrush thing, information. So it will no longer be a 3D model at this point. It will have 3D data, but you can't rotate it in space, you can't edit it, you can't do other things with it. Okay? So this is the place where you really, you want to kind of stay away from that. One place you can work in the document folder is this export. So that will export an image of this little guy. So if I render this, like so, beep, with these terrible shadows, document export, that will then ask me, do I want to save it as JPEG or PNG or something like that? That's fine. So other than that, other than saving this thing as an image, you want to post somewhere, bring into Photoshop, something like that. And by the way, I'll give you a better way of doing that later. Just stay out of this menu, okay? That's really not something, or not the menu. Stay out of saving your stuff here. This is the way I want you to save stuff in class, okay? Turn off undo history, save as, and you'll be good, okay? As long as you do that, you can open it up and it's still going to have that 3D data that you can then get back to and continue sculpting after the fact, okay? So there you go.